Now we're going to take our CSV file and we're going to load it into QGIS and carry out construct some maps and carry out some SQL or structure query language operations, very basic, to display different data on our maps. So let's start. So here I have the main window from QGIS, and if you remember with git bash, we just extracted this file called data building fire.csv. And what we're going to do is we're going to take this file, this is a comma separated value file, and we're going to load it into GIS. So I'm going to go back to QGIS here. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add an Openstreetmap layer. And I know the data that I'm bringing in is from Pittsburgh, so I'm going to go down here to our search box. I'm going to type OSM space Pittsburgh, just to zoom into Pittsburgh easily, and then space. And then here I have Pittsburgh, Allegheny County, and there's my map from Pittsburgh. Let's zoom in a little bit more, maybe something like that, so that we can see. There you go, something like that. And now we're going to add a new layer, which with the data that we have extracted from the 311 data from Pittsburgh, and then treated or processed with AWK. So I'm gonna go here to the layer menu. I'm gonna scroll down to add layer, and then I'm gonna go to add delimited text layer. So add delimited text layer. I'm gonna click there, and I'm gonna select the file name of the file that we created. So I'm gonna click on these three dots here, and I'll go down to, I had it downloads, and I know that it's, remember, that data dash building that dash fire CSV. So I'm gonna click there and say open, and it's a CSV file, so I'm gonna make sure that it's CSV here. And notice that it automatically recognizes some of the fields, so it knows that for the x coordinate it's going to be longitude, for the y coordinate it's going to be latitude, so latitude is y, x is longitude, so automatically identifies that. And I don't think we need to do anything else. Let's see, we hit add here, let's see what happens. Let's close. So notice now that our map from Pittsburgh area, let's zoom out a little, is full of these green dots from all the building fires in our file. Let's explore a little bit more some of these data points. I'm gonna go and select this layer, right click, and look at the attribute table, which is a table that contains our data. So notice that it is our attribute table. Indeed, has all the lines or all the rows from our CSV, and every row is now loaded into QGIS, and there is in total about 1,300 rows. The next thing we're gonna do is let's see if we can highlight one of these here. So whenever you select a row, there should be a dot that actually gets highlighted. See, I can show you the effect here. There's with 1,300 dots, it's gonna be hard to find which one's flashing when you highlight it. And that's a problem, right? Because there's so many dots, it's hard to understand which one's which. So let's add some extra functionalities here to start improving how we're displaying our data. So let me close this. I'm gonna select again our layer. I'm gonna right click on it. I'm gonna select properties here. And what we're gonna get is this window lets me change lots of things about my data. The first thing I want to change is, or I want to show you here, is I'm gonna go to source, and what I'm gonna change is I'm going to search for something called, or construct a structure query language query, and it's pretty easy because it comes with a query builder. So I'm gonna say query builder, and notice here that I have all my fields from the file that we loaded. The one that I want to look at right now is this one that says alarm time. So I'm gonna select alarm time and click on sample, and here's a sample of the alarm times that I have in our file. Notice that I have 2013, 15, 16, 17, 18, and so on. So I want to write a filter that filters all, let's say, all the buildings fires from 2013. So That means all the entries in our table that have an alarm time that start with 2013. So I'm gonna go down here to my query builder. I'm gonna say the alarm time is gonna be like, and then I'm gonna put a single quotation mark, I believe it is this, and then percentage sign and 2013 percentage sign. That means anything that starts with 2013, and we can test it. Let's see if this works. Test, and it says what you just type generated 170 rows. So that's it. So basically, if we type this query alarm time like single quotation marks percentage 2013 percentage single quotation marks, means that anything that starts with 2013 in the alarm time field is going to be selected. So I'm going to click OK. I'm just going to copy this because this is just a test. I'm going to copy this, press Control C, or do this, copy. As I said, I'm going to clear this. I'll say cancel. I was just testing our data. If you notice in the back when I did that, from all the green dots that I had in the background, only the ones from 2013 were displayed. But I don't want that because I want to display all of my dots with different colors for different years. So I'm going to sit here, I'm going to hit cancel. So what we're going to do is we're going to go again into our properties file, and we're going to change the way that we display the symbols. So we could actually use a single symbol, or categorize depending on a different field to display different colors for different categories. We don't want to do that. What we want to do is create a rule-based one. And we're going to create a rule-based one. Let me delete this one that was there before. And we're going to create a rule-based one to do the following. So we're going to add a rule that says that, with a filter that says that if the alarm time is like 2013, let's test it, and this gives us 170 rows, and the label is going to be just 2013, and let's hit OK. So now notice what happens when I click apply and then click in OK here. Now there's a filter for our data building fire with a sort of pink dot that represents 2013. Let's do the same for other years and add more rules. We're gonna go back into properties, then symbology. I'm looking at, remember, at rule based. I'm gonna add another rule, and now I'm gonna paste the alarm time like 2014. Okay, let's test it and see. This gives us 191 dots, and let's call this 2014. Say OK. Let's add one more. Let's say that Control B for 2015. Let's test it. 232 dots. OK. And let's call this 2015. Let's add one more after this. 2015. OK. Let's add one more. Let's label this as 2016. And it has to be alarm like starting with 2016. Let's test this. This will give us 213 rows. Let's hit OK, apply, and OK. So we're only displaying right now 2013, 14, 15, 16, and with different colors. So we can actually look at what happened over or throughout the years. Basically, this is 2013, this is 2014, 2015. Turn on 2013 there, and 2016. So all of these are from one single layer. We could have done this multiple ways. We could have, for instance, duplicated our layer here, and then with every duplicate layer assign a filter to just filter for a specific year. But that will increase the amount of memory that we need. With this, we're just using one layer, and with this one layer we can display the data from our map. So having said that, then let's create a map real quick, a simple map. Let's go to project, new, print layout. This is our pit map fire, let's say fire data, building fire data. Okay, let's add a map here. We're gonna add our map. and there's the map from our main QGIS window. We probably want to add a legend here as well, and there's ways to format that legend a little bit better than this, but that's the standard layer or the standard legend that QGIS creates, and online you can check how to do other things. Of course, there are things that are missing here. We need to add a legend, a title, an arrow that points north. We also want to add the coordinates and some grid lines, and you'll do that on your own. Save it and paste it and submit it. For now, let's leave it there.